The popular view is that the concept of an infinity of space and an eternity of time implies a quantity which has no beginning nor end. However, we can easily imagine the situation where this is not the case. For instance, we can imagine pushing over the first domino in a hypothetical infinite line of dominoes, and therefore initiating the beginning of an eternal chain reaction of a domino effect. In this scenario, an infinite stretch of space and an eternal period of time can both have a beginning which can be traced back to a specific dimensionless static point in time and space. And if someone down the line, at some point in the distant future, was to ask what was the origin and the prime cause event which initiated the beginning of the chain reaction of the domino effect in the first place, you might be inclined to state that the buck stops with the finger which pushed that first initial domino. However, if we wish to trace the true origin of the chain reaction of the domino effect back to the prime cause, we must ask the question, what caused the finger to move in the first place? Before the finger moves, and indeed before any part of our body makes any voluntary movement, whether it be a finger pushing a domino or the same finger pulling the trigger of a gun, or indeed any time we perform any independent voluntary action, firstly requires the pre-existence of an intentionality to move that part of the body before that part of the body will move at all. The existence of conscious intentionality is something we experience as a real phenomenon, and something we can understand as a concept in the form of an applied force which acts on matter, in this case the initiating the movement of the atoms in our body, can be defined as a dimensionless and therefore an immeasurable metaphysical aspect of our existence, and as such exists out with the parameters of time and space. Now here is the thing. It is a law of physics that the acceleration of a particle of matter containing mass results in the creation of an electromagnetic field. The life-made electromagnetic field which is created every time we make a voluntary independent movement of our body is a unique, totally unpredictable one-off occurrence which is specific to the physical movement of matter itself, and is an electromagnetic field which otherwise would not exist were it not for the physical movement itself. And intrinsically inherent in this observation is the fact that the life-made electromagnetic field would not exist without the pre-existence of a conscious intentionality to move, as initiated by an intelligent mortal living being, which is causing the execution of the actual physical movement of the body. Our body consists of 10 to the times 28 atoms. At any given frozen moment in time, the nucleus of each one of these individual atoms occupies a specific, unique point coordinate in time and space. It is the contention of this hypothesis that every atom of which our body is made is recreated moment to moment in quantized increments at a frequency and wavelength which equates with atomic hydrogen, and more specifically neutral hydrogen. Every time we move represents the beginning of an alternative physical reality of a changed daughter universe which has branched off from the unchanged parent universe. The beginning of the daughter universe originates at a unique static point in time and space, which we'll call point X. The daughter universe expands from point X at the speed of light till it expands to a specific radius at which a pair of electrostatic charges, the electron and the positron, are spontaneously created at opposite ends of the notional sphere. This notional sphere equates with the 21 centimetre wavelength of neutral hydrogen and heralds the beginning of a unique wave of electromagnetic radiation. This electromagnetic field radiates from the shell both externally and internally at the speed of light, and just like the finger initiating the beginning of an infinite domino effect in an infinity of time, the electromagnetic field we create radiates out into infinity and represents the beginning of the future chain reaction which is radiated to the, or relative to the changed branched off daughter universe. Your conscious soul exists at the dimensionless static point X and exists at the centre of the electromagnetic field which has been created. A young boy asks his dad why the boxer blesses himself before he steps in the ring, and his dad says, "It means fuck all if you can't fight." Similarly, if you sit an exam or take a driving test and you pray to God to help you pass the test, it means fuck all if you haven't studied and you don't know the answers. Give yourself credit. It is you who passes or fails the test. At any given moment in time, your conscious living soul exists at the perpetual centre of the observable alternate daughter universe which you created. Just as the rainbow, which any individual sees, is determined by their own personal specific distance and angle in relation to the horizon, then that which any given consciousness perceives as the Big Bang beginning of the universe in which they exist is entirely relative to the unique static point in time and space at which the conscious soul resides. In other words, the Big Bang is relative to the observer. Now, if you are waiting in a response from a God you have prayed to, you are waiting on a reply from yourself. You are God. You create your own personal universe as you move through space and time. At every given moment in your life, you exist at the exact centre of the universe you create.